Hello again, folks. Welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. This is episode number 45, and we're returning to Strat-O-Matic Baseball in the Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill tournament. This is game number 9, which is going to have the 1965 Minnesota Twins traveling to Crosley Field to take on the current Kings of the Hill, the 1961 Cincinnati Reds. Before we get to the starting lineups, let's take a look at the status of the Hill so far. And these are the stats after Game 8. We can see the 61 Reds are the current Kings of the Hill, having defeated the 54 Cleveland Indians in Game number 8 with some heroics from Frank Robinson in the bottom of the 9th. They're taking on the Twins today. So the Twins are the last team to play a game. So after that, everyone will have played at least one. And we can see the 53 Brooklyn Dodgers are lying in wait to see if they're traveling to Cincinnati or to Minneapolis-St. Paul. So after this game, we will have completed one cycle when the Dodgers will take on the winner of this game in game number 10. Okay, starting lineups. First for the visiting Minnesota Twins. Zoilo Versalles, shortstop, leads off. Jimmy Hall, he's in center field. He bats second. Tony Oliva bats third. He's in right field. Harmon Killebrew's at third base. He's batting fourth. Bob Allison is in left field. He bats fifth. Earl Batty is the catcher. He's batting sixth. Don Mincher's at first base, seventh. Jerry Kindle is at second base. He bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Jim Cott. He is a number 4 hitting pitcher. So we will replace his card with the number 4 pitcher hitting card. All right, for the home Cincinnati Reds, the 1961 Cincinnati Reds. Leading off at second base, Don Blasingame. Eddie Casco at shortstop bats second. Veda Pinson in center field. He bats third. Frank Robinson's in right field. He bats fourth. Wally Post is in left field. He bats fifth. Gene Freese is at third base. He's batting sixth. Gordy Coleman's at first base. He bats seventh. John Edwards is the catcher. He's batting eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Jim O'Toole. He is a number 2 hitting pitcher. So we will replace his card in the lineup with the pitcher's hitting card. I didn't mention Jim Cott in 1965 was 18-11 with a 2.83 ERA and 264 innings pitched. Jim O'Toole was 19-9 with a 3.09 ERA, 253 innings pitched. And it looks like his stats missing for home runs allowed. How about that? Cott allowed 25. All right, so O'Toole has completed his warm-up tosses, and I also need to mention O'Toole is listed as a starter reliever, and the rules I'm using for fatigue, that means he only gets 7 fatigue points until he is fatigued. But anyway, he's completed his warm-up tosses. Versalles enters the batter's box, and we are underway, and we have a 2-8, and a 2-8 is a triple on a 1-12, double 13-20, and it's a leadoff double for Versalles. Or Versalles. I'm not sure how you pronounce that name. Wouldn't be the first one I got wrong. But he's on second base with nobody out. Good start for the Twins. That brings up Jimmy Hall. He's the center fielder for Minnesota. And that's a 2-8. And a 2-8 is a triple on a 1-3, a single on a 4-20. He rolls a 6. That's a RBI single for Hall. And just like that, the Twins are on the board, 1-0. And that's going to be 1 fatigue point for O'Toole. Here's Tony Oliva. Man on first, nobody out. You got a 4-4, and a 4-4 is a catcher's card X. Edwards is a number 2 for Cincinnati. We roll a 19. And that's roll again. We roll an 18. And that's also roll again. We roll a 1. It's a pass ball followed by a strikeout. So that's good. The pass ball is going to send Hall to second base, and all of us strikes out, and there's 1 away. First strikeout for O'Toole. So man on second with 1 out, and Harmon Killebrew. We have a 1-9, and a 1-9 is a fly ball to right field, I believe. Center field, sorry about that. Veda Pinson's under that, makes the catch. It's a fly ball B, and that's going to have Hall hold at second base, and there are 2 away. Here's Bob Allison, Twins left fielder. Got a 5-4, and a 5-4 is a ground ball third base X. And Gene Freeze is a 4. We roll a 15. That's a 1 base error. So Freeze commits the error. That's 1 error for Cincinnati. That's an E5. And that allows Hall to move over to third. So we got runners at the corners with 2 outs. Excuse me. And Earl Batty. Earl Batty. Twins catcher, first and third, 2 outs. We have a 6-8, and a 6-8 is a single on a 1-17. And no, that's an 18, so that's a line out to shortstop. Eddie Casco has that. Run-saving play, and that's out number 3. But the Twins do get on the board, and after 1/2 inning of play, it's the Twins 1, and the Reds coming up to bat. Jim Cott comes out, bottom of the first, and of course it's going to be the top of the order for the Reds. Here's Don Blasingame. We got a 4-10, and a 4-10 is a ground ball to third base X. Killebrew's a 4. That's a 12. Out with no runners on base. So that is a 5-3 ground out for Blasingame. And there's 1 away. Eddie Casco. Have a 2-7, and a 2-7 is a pop out to second baseman Kindle. He's under that, makes the catch, out number 2. Here's Veda Pinson. Got a 1-7, and a 1-7 is a single. 2-out single for Pinson. So he's on base for Frank Robinson, the hero of the last game for the Reds. And that's a 2-4, and a 2-4 is a pop out to third base. Harmon Killebrew's underneath that, makes the catch. And the Reds are retired. After 1 inning of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. Okay, I need to update this. O'Toole has 2 fatigue points, and Cott has 1. Top of the second, O'Toole's going to face Mincher, Kindle, and his counterpart, Jim Cott. Got a 4-4, and a 4-4 is a catcher's card X. Edwards is a 2. And we roll a 5 on a 2. And that's a pop out. So Edwards is under that, makes the catch for out number 1. Have to excuse me, these cards are sticking together for the Twins. Here's Jerry Kindle, second baseman. We have a 1-5. 1-5 is a fly ball to center field. Veda Pinson's under that. He makes the catch for out number 2. And here's pitcher Jim Cott. We have a 3-6, and a 3-6 is a strikeout. That's the second strikeout for O'Toole, and it's out number 3. So the Twins do not score in the top of the second, and after 1.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. O'Toole gets another fatigue point. He's at 3. And Jim Cott's going to face Wally Post, Gene Freeze, and Gordy Coleman. We have a 3-8. 3-8 is a single on a 1-5. It's a 17. And that's a line out to third baseman Harmon Killebrew. And there's one away. Third baseman Gene Freeze. We have a 1-6, and a 1-6 is a ground ball to third base. That's Killebrew over to Mincher for out number 2. Here's Gordy Coleman, Cincinnati first baseman. We have a 3-9, and a 3-9 is a single on a 1, but we roll a 7, and that's a line out to second base. Kindle has that, makes the stab, and that's out number 3. And the Reds go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second, and after 2 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. Jim O'Toole's back out. Cott gets a second fatigue point. Top of the order for the Twins. Versalis, first up. We got a 3-7, and a 3-7 is a ground ball to third base. That's Gene Freeze to Gordy Coleman for out number 1. One out, nobody on for Jimmy Hall. Jimmy Hall singled his first time up. And that's a 4-6, and a 4-6 is a ground ball to second base X. And let's see, Blasingame's a 3. We roll a 4. And that's a ground out. So that's Blasingame over to Gordy Coleman for out number 2. Two away, no one on for Tony Oliva. And that's a 3-8. Excuse me, a 3-9. And a 3-9 is a single. So 2 out single for Oliva. So he's on first with 2 outs, and Harmon Killebrew. He flew out to center field his first time up. We got a 3-7, and a 3-7 is a single on a 1-2. He rolls an 18, and that's a line out to third baseman Gene Freeze for out number 3. So the Twins put a runner on, but do not score, and after 2.5, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. Jim Cott comes back out to pitch. Have to give O'Toole his 4th fatigue point. So Cott's going to face Edwards, O'Toole, and Blasingame. And we have a 5-12, and a 5-12 is a ground ball to first base. Mincher's going to take that unassisted for the first out. And I put that in the wrong place. Why do I do that? You 3, 1 away. All right. O'Toole's going to bat here in the bottom of the third. We got a 2-6, and a 2-6 is a strikeout, and that's the first strikeout for Cott. And there are 2 away. Back to the top of the order, and Don Blasingame. He grounded out to third base his first time up. We got a 6-12, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher, Jim Cott. He tosses over to first base, Mincher, and that's out number 3. 1-3 for out number 3. The Reds go 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the third, and after 3 innings, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. O'Toole's coming back out. Cott gets his 3rd fatigue point. And Bob Allison's the first batter he's going to face, and that's a 6-4. And a 6-4 is a strikeout. It's a strikeout. That's strikeout number 3 for O'Toole, and there's 1 away. Earl Batty, Twins catcher. Batty lined out to the shortstop his first time up. That's a 2-11. And the 2-11 is a ground ball to second base. That's going to be Blasingame over to Coleman for out number 2. There's 2 away. And Don Mincher. Mincher popped out to the catcher his first time up. That's a 5-7. And a 5-7 is a strikeout. That's strikeout number 4 for O'Toole, and the 3rd out of the inning. So the Twins go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 4th, and after 3.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. O'Toole gets another fatigue point. He's at 5. He only has 2 more before he becomes fatigued. Jim Cott's out here for the bottom of the 4th. And he's going to face Eddie Casco, Veda Pinson, and Frank Robinson. That's a 2-7, and a 2-7 is a single, leadoff single for Casco. Casco's stealing D, so we're going to keep him there at first base. And here's Veda Pinson. Got a 5-8, and a 5-8 is a ground ball to shortstop X. And Versalis is a 2. We roll a 20. And that's an out. Actually, it's a double play. It is a 6-4-3 double play. And there are 2 away. So 2 outs, base is empty for Frank Robinson. And we have a 3-6, and a 3-6 is a walk. 2 out walk to Robinson. And that's going to bring up Wally Post. Man on first, 2 outs. Have a 6-6, and a 6-6 is a fly ball to left field. Bob Allison's underneath that. He makes the catch for out number 3. The Reds do not score in the bottom of the 4th, and after 4 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. Cott gets his 4th fatigue point, and Jim O'Toole's back out here for the Reds. Jerry Kindle, first batter he's going to face. And that's a 3-5, and a 3-5 is a single on a 1-4. But no, it's a 17, so that is a line out to Gene Freeze, and there's 1 away. Here's Jim Cott. Struck out his first time up. And we have a 5-7, and a 5-7 is a strikeout. That's strikeout number 5 for O'Toole, and that's the 2nd out. Back to the top of the order in Zoilo Versalis. Nobody on, 2 outs. We have a 2-7, and a 2-7 is a home run on a 1-12. Ooh, just misses a home run, but it is a 2-out double for Versalis. So he's on second with 2 outs. And we got Jimmy Hall, who drove Versalis in back in the first inning to give the Twins their 1-0 lead. Okay, we have a 3-4, and a 3-4 is a ground ball to the pitcher. So that's Jim O'Toole over to Gordy Coleman for out number 3. All right, so after 4.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. O'Toole gets a 6th endurance point or fatigue point. Jim Cott comes back out. He's at 4 himself. It's the bottom of the 5th. It's going to be Gene Freeze, Gordy Coleman, and Edwards for the Reds. And that's a 3-10. And the 3-10 is a leadoff single for Freeze. So they have a man on first with nobody out for Gordy Coleman. That's a 3-10, and a 3-10 is a ground ball to the pitcher A. And that is going to be a Rowley killing 1-6-3 double play. So 2 out, nobody on for catcher John Edwards. And that's a 5-10, and a 5-10 is a fly ball to right field. All of us underneath that makes the catch for out number 3. So the Reds do not score in the bottom of the 5th, and after 5 innings of play, it's the Twins 1 and the Reds nothing. O'Toole is coming back out. And Cott gets his 5th endurance point. O'Toole is at 6. So he has 1 more before he becomes fatigued. He will become fatigued after 7. So he actually has 2 more. And that is a 5-9. And a 5-9 is a fly ball to center field. Veda Pinson underneath that makes the catch for out number 1. Here's Harmon Killebrew. And that's a 6-3. And that's a strikeout. That's strikeout number 6 for O'Toole. And there's 2 away for Bob Allison. That's a 3-6, and a 3-6 is a 2-out walk. So Allison's on first base with 2 away for Earl Batty. Batty is 0 for 2 so far. And that's a 3-6, and a 3-6 is a walk. So that's 2 back-to-back walks for O'Toole. And the Twins have runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Don Mincher. Mincher is 0 for 2 as well. That's a 1-4, and this is a deep fly ball to center field. Veda Pinson watches it go over his head. It's way up, out of here, gone. A 3-run home run for Don Mincher, and the Twins are now up 4-0. My. 3 RBIs. And, of course, O'Toole is now fatigued. But we didn't have anybody up warming up, so we're going to take care of that now. So he's going to stay out there for try to get out of this inning. He's the first batter for the Reds in the bottom of the 6th. So Jim Brosnan is going to start warming up for the Reds just in case O'Toole can't get out of this inning. All right, so here we go. It's a 4-8, and a 4-8 is a ground ball to shortstop X. Now, with him being fatigued, all X results come from column 4, and that's an 11. And an 11 is an out. There was no runners on base, so that's a ground out. Casco over to Coleman for out number 3. 6-3. That's out number 3. But the Twins score 3 runs on Mincher's 2-out, 3-run home run. And after 5.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 4 And the Reds, nothing. Jim Cott's back out. He is at 5 fatigue points. And he is going to be facing a pinch hitter. And that pinch hitter is going to be Jerry Lynch. So Jerry Lynch is going to pinch hit for O'Toole. Pinch hit, bottom of the 6th. All right. And Lynch is going to be facing Cott. That's a 6-6, and a 6-6 is a fly ball to left field. Bob Allison's under that, makes the catch for out number 1. And Lynch is out of the game. Back to the top of the order in Don Blasingame. And it's a 6-6. And a 6-6 is a fly ball to left field. Bob Allison once again. Underneath it, makes the catch, out number 2. It's 2 outs, nobody on for Eddie Casco. Casco is 1 for 2. He's singled in the 4th. That's a 3-4. And a 3-4 is another single for Casco. So the Reds have a man on first with 2 outs for Veda Pinson. Pinson is 1 for 2. He singled his first time up in the 1st inning and then ground into a double play in the 4th. You got a 3-4. The 3-4 is a line out to second baseman Kindle for out number 3. And the Reds do get a base runner but do not score. And after 6 innings of play, it's the Twins 4 and the Reds nothing. Cott gets another endurance point. So he's at 6. And the new pitcher for the Reds is Jim Bronson. In 1961, he was 10-4 with a 3.04 ERA and 80 innings of work. And we got to put him in the game here, Bronson. Top of the 7th. And he's going to be facing Jim Cott. All right. So Bronson, got to write him down here too. Or Brosnan, I'm sorry. Not Charles Bronson. Jim Brosnan. All right. 2 pitchers facing each other here. It's a 6-7. And a 6-7 is a single on a 1-10. It's a 19. It's a line out to third baseman Gene Freeze. And there's 1 away. Solio Versalis, excuse me. That's a 6-9, and a 6-9 is a pop out to third base, Gene Freeze. Under that makes the catch, out number 2. And here's Jimmy Hall. Got a 1-7, and a 1-7 is a double on a 1-11, single on a 12-20. So that's a 2-out single for Jimmy Hall. It's his 2nd hit of the game. So he's on first with 2 outs for Tony Oliva. And that's a 6-8, and a 6-8 is a line out to second baseman Don Blasingame for out number 3. So the Twins do not score in the top of the 7th, and after 6.5, it's the Twins 4 and the Reds nothing. Cott gets his 7th endurance point. And Brosnan, who got 1 in the previous inning, is coming back out. Or excuse me, he gets 1 for this inning. It's Cott who's coming back out. Come on, Max. Get your act together. Okay, he's going to face Frank Robinson, Wally Post, and Gene Freeze. And that's a 4-8. And a 4-8 is a single on a 1-8. But it's a 16, and that's a fly ball to right field. And Oliva's underneath that makes a catch for out number 1. So there's nobody on, 1 out for Wally Post. And that's a 4-12, and a 4-12 is a ground ball to second base X. And Kindle is a 2. That's a 6. And that's a ground out 4-3 for out number 2. That would be Kindle to Mincher. And there's 2 away for Gene Freeze. Got a 4-2, and a 4-2 is a strikeout. That is the second strikeout, I believe. Yes, the second strikeout for Cott, and the third out of the inning. And after 7 innings of play, it's the Twins 4 and the Reds nothing. Cott gets his 7th endurance point. And we go to the top of the 8th. Brosnan's coming back out. He only has 1 so far. He's a relief pitcher. Once he gets past 4, he is fatigued. All right, he's going to face Killebrew, Allison, and Batty. And it's a 4-8, and a 4-8 is a fly ball to center field. Veda Pinson makes the catch, 1 away. Bob Allison, Twins left fielder. That's a 1-8, and a 1-8 is a ground ball to third base. That's Gene Freeze. Over to Gordy Coleman for out number 2. And there's 2 away, nobody on. Earl Batty. He is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. That's a 4-3, and a 4-3 is a ground ball to first base X. Gordy Coleman is a 4. So we'll check that out. It's a 1. And that is a 2-out single for Earl Batty. He's on first with 2 outs. And that brings up Don Mincher, who homered his last time up. 3-run home run that was. And that's a 4-7, and a 4-7 is a strikeout. And that's the first strikeout for Jim Brosnan. And it's the 3rd out of the 8th inning. Top of the 8th, that is. And after 7.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 4 and the Reds nothing. Jim Cott's coming back out. He's going to face Gordy Coleman, John Edwards, and the pitcher's spot. That's a 5-8, and a 5-8 is a ground ball to shortstop X. Versalis is a 2. And we roll a 3. And that's a ground out. 6-3. So Coleman grounds out 6-3, and there's 1 away. There's John Edwards, Reds catcher. It's a 2-8, and a 2-8 is a strikeout. That's strikeout number 3 for Cott. And there's 2 away. So we're going to have a pinch hitter for Brosnan. And that's going to be Leo Cardenas. There's nobody on, 2 outs. And Cardenas is pinch hitting for Brosnan. And that's a 5-4. And a 5-4 is a fly ball to center field, X. Hall is a 2. And we roll a 17. And that's a fly out to center field. So that was hard tennis. That's a pinch hit in the 8th. And that was a fly ball to center field for out number 3. Reds do not score in the bottom of the 8th, and after 8 innings of play, it's the Twins 4 and the Reds nothing. The new pitcher for the Reds is going to be Ken Johnson. He was 6-2 with a 3.25 ERA and 83 innings pitched. And Johnson. Ninth top. And he's going to face Kindle as we go to the top of the 9th. All right. Jerry Kindle. And that's a 4-10, and a 4-10 is a ground ball to third base X. And I'm going to record Johnson's name here. Okay, ground ball to third base X. Freeze is a 4. And, a 9. Freeze is a 4, and a 9 is a ground out. So that's going to be a 5-3 for out number 1. It's going to bring up Jim Cott. He's staying in the game. I mean, why wouldn't you keep him in there? He's got a shutout. He's got endurance left. That's a 3-9, and a 3-9 is a single. A 1-out single for Jim Cott. And we're back to the top of the order in Zoilo Versalles. And that's a 2-3. And a 2-3 is a ground ball to the pitcher B. And the batter's out at first. And nope, it's not a batter out. It is a fielder's choice. Cott's forced out at second for the first out. And that's a fielder's choice. And Versalles is on first base with 2 outs. And here's Jimmy Hall. And that's a 5-7. And a 5-7 is a ground ball to second base X. Blasingame's a 3. We roll a 3, and that's a single. 1 base advance for the runners. So Jimmy Hall singles with 2 outs. And that moves Versalles up to second base. It's first and second with 2 outs. And Tony Oliva. All right. That's a 5-11, and a 5-11 is a ground ball to left, or fly ball to left field X. A lot of X checks in this game. And left field is Wally Post. He's a 4. And we roll a 13. And a 13 is a single with runners advancing 2 bases. That's going to score another run. Hall moves over to third. Versalles scores, and the Twins are up 5-0. And Johnson gets a fatigue point. So it's first and third with 2 outs. And why was I recording that stuff there? What is wrong with me tonight? All right, so that's a fielder's choice. He scored. That's not there. That was a single. He's on third. That's Hall. That wasn't there. I don't know why I was doing that. You have to forgive me. And another single, which was an RBI single for Tony Oliva. And now it's Harmon Killebrew. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Killebrew rolls a 1-9, and a 1-9 is a fly ball to center field. Veda Pinson's under that, makes the catch for out number 3. But the Twins do score a run on Tony Oliva's RBI single, and after 8.5 innings of play, it's the Twins 5 and the Reds nothing. Jim Cott is coming back out. He's working on a shutout. He's at 8 fatigue points. He's got 3 to spare as of right now. But just in case he gets into a little bit of trouble, are going to have some action in the bullpen. And it's going to be Al Worthington. He's going to start warming up for the Twins. And Cott's going to face the top of the order here for the Reds. The Reds are down 5-0, bottom of the ninth. This is it. Do they remain on the hill, or do we have a new king? We will know shortly. That's a 3-8, and a 3-8 is a triple on a 1-4. But it's a 17, and that's a leadoff single for Don Blasingame here in the top of the ninth. Could this be the start of a rally? We shall see. Here's Eddie Casco. That's a 4-2, and a 4-2 is a strikeout. That's strikeout number 3 for Cott. And there's one away. Or excuse me, that's number 4 for Cott. And there's one away. Man on first with one out for Veda Pinson. That's a 3-6, and a 3-6 is a double on a 1-16. And that's a double that's going to move Blasingame over to third. So it's second and third with one out. Frank Robinson. The Twins are going to keep the infield at normal depth with the 5-run lead. And that's a 4-3, and a 4-3 is a walk to load the bases. The bases are loaded with one out. Cott's still staying out there, but Worthington's ready to go. So let's see what happens here with Wally Post. This could be Cott's last batter. And that's a 6-8, and a 6-8 is a fly ball to center field B. That's going to score a run. So Post flies out to center field. That's a sack for the second out. That's going to score Don Blasingame. The Reds do get on the board. The other runners hold. And Cott gets another endurance point. He's up to 8. And he's going to stay out there. So it's first and second with 2 outs. Twins lead 5-1, and Gene Freeze is the last chance. And it's a 1-9, and a 1-9 is a ground ball to shortstop. That's Versalis over to Mincher for out number 3, and that ends the game, and we have a new king of the hill in the 1965 Minnesota Twins. So the Reds do score 1 in the bottom of the ninth, and the final score of this game is the Minnesota Twins, the 1965 Minnesota Twins 5, the 1961 Reds 1. Let's see if we can get some totals for you here. The Twins had 5 runs on seven hits. They committed no errors. The Reds had 1 run on 6 hits. They committed 1 error. Winning pitcher, of course, is Jim Cott. Pretty great performance from Cott. Seemed like he was running out of steam in the bottom of the ninth, but he wins 5-1, and the loser was O'Toole. And we have a new king of the hill, so that's going to do it for this episode of Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. The next time we return to this game, it will be the Brooklyn Dodgers traveling to Minnesota to take on these Twins, who are new king of the hill. But like I said, that's going to do it for this episode. I'll be back again in the near future with another one, and until then, take care.